Travis Hunter, your newest Jacksonville Jaguar. He met the media earlier today. There are a lot of thoughts I have. I know a lot of thoughts the head coach has. Coach, first and foremost, you and I were on the 1010XL social media platform last night as the pick was made, so we got to react in real time, which was a lot of fun. But let me ask you again, you've had 24 hours to think about it. Travis Hunter, a Jacksonville Jaguar, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm even more excited today than I was last night. You know, the surprise kind of tempered the enthusiasm and excitement a little bit. After thinking about it, what a bold move. You made the comment yesterday about the fact that that shows some guts on the new regime.
James Gladstone's got some stones.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, be honest with you, I've been excited about the youngness and the energy, and, you know, he's been involved in the process before of a pretty darn good system at L.A. I was excited about that. Now I'm even more excited. And listen, this kid is definitely a difference maker, and I've loved what they've said about him, that we've had enough. In fact, Shad Khan said it. You know, we've had a bunch of picks over the years, which I kind of like because I think you hit a pretty good percentage that way. But what have we got for it? Mm-hmm. Nothing. We need somebody that is a player that can make a difference, and I think this kid can do it. He may revolutionize everything.
Now, let's talk about a couple of things. Number one, what the Jaguars did in compensation to Cleveland. That's been a big talking point today. And what I don't understand, I understand that Cleveland, and they're spinning it for their audience, the Cleveland media just thinks it's the biggest coup on planet Earth. By the way, the Cleveland Brown fan base, at least the ones that I heard, they were fuming pissed this morning that they did not have Travis Hunter. So the media was trying to calm them down, at least on the radio station and the podcast I listened to earlier up in Cleveland. There's been some mixed feelings among national media guys. The Browns won the trade. The Jaguars won the trade. Here's what I know. All right, the Jaguars' fourth-round pick actually got improved last night by about 20 spots. They add an extra sixth-rounder, so they have the same amount of picks. They have 9 more picks left, just like they would have if the trade had never happened, 10 picks total. The first next year, we'll get to that. That's obviously a big talking point. But, Coach, Cleveland drafted Mason Graham at number 5, and they took Quinshon Judkins, the running back from Ohio State, at 36. 2 very plausible guys Jacksonville may have drafted. If I were to ask you 24 hours ago, you can have Travis Hunter with number 2, or you can have Mason Graham and Quinshon Judkins with 5 and 36, I would have taken Hunter all day long and not thought twice about it.
Yep.
So the number 1 pick next year, we'll see. If Jacksonville's bad, it's going to be a bad trade. If Jacksonville's good and that's a pick in the 20s, all of a sudden that compensation doesn't look so bad for a guy that may change your franchise.
Well, the one thing you look at, you know, in the administrative situation with the draft is that we always looked at, when we drafted, we were optimistic. We're going to get good players, okay? So we're going to have a good team. It's just a matter of time. When we were bad, we tried to get as many picks as we could. When we were good, we took people that we needed that were good, really good. And now, in that situation, we looked at the next year's draft. When we gave one up, like if we gave away a first-round pick, we really looked at it like a second. Mm-hmm. Because if we were good, we were going to be at least at the middle back. Or if we won a division, we were going to be in the bottom 25 on. So for us, that's like a second-round pick to us. So that, to me, we won't know exactly what that pick, like you said, is until we see how we do this year. But I believe in taking Hunter. Our people believe that this team is good enough with some additions to contend next year, and that's what they expect to do.
Listening to Liam Cohen, listening to James Gladstone, it appears it's going to be offense first for Travis Hunter. He's going to learn the wide receiver position here, and the idea of Trevor Lawrence throwing the football to Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, if that doesn't get you fired up, you can be the most negative, glass half empty Jaguar fan there is. if you don't crack a smile about the idea of Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball to BTJ and Travis Hunter, then I don't know what to tell you. The question is, can he do both, offense and defense? And it certainly sounds like, Coach, he's going to start on offense, but Liam Cohen's been very vocal as they get into OTAs and mini camps and stuff as we work through the offseason here, that, they're going to try to get him to do both. Maybe not a full-blown starting defensive back and a full-blown starting wide receiver, maybe 80-20, 70-30, but he's going to play both, it appears.
Well, first of all, obviously we've talked about this, that, the college game, he had 100 snaps a game going both ways. In the NFL, you're talking about 60, 61, 62 plays. So right off the bat, if you play the full offense and then you play half of the defensive snaps or more than that, you're going to be about half of what you played on the college level. Now, the game's faster, more physical, all those things, which is the thing you have to look at. But I'll say this, I believe they're going to start him on offense now for sure, because that's the area that he had the least amount of work with at Colorado. He was more defense than he was offense. So they're going to develop him on offense, because that's firepower. Get the guy that could score you points. That's where it's going to be. And you put that combination of he and Brian Thomas, that's a great situation. But they'll be able to use him plenty on defense. He may not be in there on third down and short. He may not be in there until they get to the 40-yard line going in. You can control it. And to me, you get hurt more on defense than you do on offense. So, to me, I'm looking forward to him being a receiver.
I've been happy all day today. There's been a couple of things that have bothered me. By the way, a guy you used to coach, Kevin Matthysse, who coaches Travis Hunter, not only at Jackson State, but went to Colorado with him with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. Kevin Matthysse is going to join us. He was Travis's cornerbacks coach in both Jackson State and Colorado, and he'll be with us in less than 10 minutes, which is awesome. Certainly, thank you for getting Kevin Matthysse for us tonight.
You got it.
One thing that has bothered me today, and I've tried not to let it get to me too much, but I've seen enough of it now. This fan base, admittedly, has been beaten over the head by this franchise for basically the last 15 years. There was a cup of coffee in 2017 going to the playoffs, AFC Championship game. There was a cup of coffee in 2022. Those were the 2 years they've made the playoffs in the last 15 years. I get what this franchise has done to some fans, that it's glass half empty, look at the negative, we're not happy unless we're complaining. Right. I get it, because I used to live that life as an objective broadcast journalist. And as I've gotten older and wiser, I now see the error of my ways. So I like to stand on a pedestal here and preach about what you should not do. I have read numerous comments today on social media. Oh, same old Jags, so disappointed. This is what they do. Bad football guys. You're entitled to your opinion. That's what makes the world go round. But the conversation to me, when you start saying same old Jags, it's a completely different regime.
Right.
For the first time in over a decade, you have a brand new coach and a brand new general manager. And people are saying, oh, the price is too much to pay. The price was just too much, giving up a first-round pick next year. Just too big a price. It's going to be too painful. Yeah, because the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've been so good at first-round draft picks, right? That's what they've gotten to 64 and 148 in the last 12 years. My word the entire offseason is different. Anything different that this organization does, based on what we've seen for the last decade and a half, is probably going to be good, because the last 15 years have been awful. And you know what last night was, ladies and gentlemen? Last night was not only different, it was massively different for your 34-year-old general manager, your 39-year-old head coach in their first turn at bat. Cohen's been here 3 months. Gladstone's been here 2 months. And they turned the NFL upside down last night when they traded up to take the Heisman Trophy winner and a guy that literally may play Iron Man football in Travis Hunter. Will it work? To be determined. But for those of you that are saying same old Jags and so disappointing and this is what they do, your opinion's your opinion. I'm not going to fault you for having one, but to me, that is complete and total baloney sausage, because that's the only BS I can use on terrestrial radio.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've been excited about this group. I'm talking about the young coaches and the energy and Gladstone. I know he's got a process. He's had it. So for me at this point right now, this is the first young offensive head coach that they've had since Tom Coughlin.
And Coughlin was 48 when he got the job. This is the first offensive mind under 45, under 40 that they've literally ever had as a head coach.
Yeah. And so, to me, I've been excited about that, and I'm even more excited now. I think you've got to be positive here. They've shown you by this pick, if you're going to be a really good football team, you have to have some difference makers on that team and key positions. Who do we have? We didn't have any. At this point right now, we don't know Trevor. Trevor hasn't done it yet. BTJ is probably the closest thing to it, but he's 1 year into the league.
Yeah.
Well, we're adding another one. We just added another one. Now, again, he's going to be first year in the league, but at the same time, you have to have great players in order to win at key positions.
Tell us about Kevin Matthysse, who's joining us coming up here in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, Kevin played in the league for 9 years, started a lot of football games, had 11 interceptions over his career. Kevin was a smart guy, smart player, smaller corner. But for us with the Cowboys, he played really well. He joined Deion right from the beginning at Prime Academy, which Deion started in Dallas as assistant coach. And then he's gone on with him the whole time. So he's been with when I talked to him about coming on, I said, we're really excited to have Hunter here with us here in Jacksonville. The first thing he said was, you ain't seen nothing yet. Whew. So it's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, Kevin Matthysse coached Travis Hunter at Jackson State, then went out to Boulder and coached Travis Hunter at Colorado for the last couple of years. A 9-year NFL vet. He played for the head coach, Dave Campo, with the Dallas Cowboys when Coach was the coordinator out there. Let's talk about Travis Hunter from a guy that knows him very well, Kevin Matthysse. And, oh, by the way, in the 9 o'clock hour, right at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, before Jackson State and before Colorado, Travis Hunter was a high school football star in the state of Georgia. Drew Swick was his high school football head coach, and we'll talk to him as well. A lot of Travis Hunter talk. We'll keep you updated on the draft. The Jaguars pick 70th and 88th tonight, so they are still a good 25 picks away. Hopefully we'll be on the air when pick 70 is made. If we are, you can rest assured we'll tell you all about it right here on Hacker After Dark. With Dave Campo, the hacker Ryan Green, we're glad you're with us, Jacksonville, on a Friday night here in Northeast Florida. It's Hacker After Dark.
1010XL gives you the most Jaguars in NFL.
It's all a bit much.
The most Gators in college football.
Forgive me if I take a moment to process it.
Get maximum football on 1010XL.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it. They do it, whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold. Whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island or Bud Light Seltzer, dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
Gun charges, drug charges. I'm Attorney Malcolm Anthony, and I specialize in handling these types of felony cases. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
You can help Micah's Place support domestic violence victims by playing in the Par for a Purpose golf tournament June 20th at the stunning Golf Club of Amelia Island. Register at micahsplace.org/golf.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
You have healing power. Even writing a letter or volunteering can help heal a veteran. Find out more at healvets.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Get to know the newest members of your home team with Draft Profiles.
Who is that guy?
Covered by River City Screens and Wicca Candle Bar.
He's our #1 draft pick.
The off-season rolls on with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Getting a pool? David Garrard here. I just did. But before they dug, I called Clearwater Irrigation, and they capped off all my sprinkler lines so the pool company could just dig away.
Then when your pool's finished, we'll install your sprinkler system back to full coverage.
And now my backyard oasis is getting watered beautifully.
And maybe then, Dave, I could take another quick dip.
Bigger swimming trunks, John. Much bigger.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to and should be yours. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations providing advanced urological care to improve men's health and sexual vitality. Don't suffer through prostate, bladder, or kidney issues. Visit ackermanurology.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Keeping you updated on the NFL draft going on right now. Some names that we've talked about a lot here in Jacksonville are beginning to fall off the board here in round number 2. Mason Taylor, the tight end from LSU, goes to the Jets. Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle from Texas, goes to San Francisco. Terrence Ferguson, a guy I really liked, coach, the tight end from Oregon.
Yep.
He goes to the Rams. And Will Johnson. Remember, there was one point in this process where Will Johnson was mocked to Jacksonville at number 5. He had some injury concerns coming in. He goes 47 to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, he's a good player. Unfortunately, injury at the end hurts you. There's no doubt.
That is Dave Campo. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. The Jacksonville Jaguars one night ago drafted Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner from the University of Colorado. Let's talk to a man that knows a lot about Travis Hunter. That's because he coached him for the last few years at Jackson State and at the University of Colorado. That's Colorado's secondary coach, Kevin Matthysse. 9 years in the National Football League, including listening to Dave Campo's tutelage over there with the Dallas Cowboys at the beginning of his career. Kevin Matthysse joins us here on 1010XL. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How you guys doing?
Kevin, we are doing very good. Say hello to your former coordinator, man.
Hey,
That's
Kevin.
my man over there, Coach Camp.
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great, Coach. I'm doing great.
Good to hear your voice.
Well, Kevin, let's get right into it. All right, Travis Hunter. As you can imagine, everybody here in Jacksonville, very excited. You coached him at Jackson State. You coached him at Colorado. Tell us about Travis Hunter.
And he's the unicorn. I'm saying he's a guy, man, that I know I would never see again in my lifetime. As far as the type of athlete he is, type of player he is, the way he brings everything to the table each and every day. Man, it's just when you see him. I know when I first recruited him, and I was doing when we got him to Jackson State, my whole job was not to mess him up. He had that much ability, and you knew that he was gonna make it to the next level. But and how much greater he could get, it just, man, that's just something that you really don't understand how good he can be, because you know what I'm saying, he's always striving to be the best, man. Y'all gonna love him down there. Just the way what he brings to the table. It's something that you love as a coach, because those guys don't come around very often.
That's interesting, because when I mentioned to you, when I talked to you earlier, Kevin, I said, hey, we're excited to have him down here, and you said you ain't seen nothing yet.
Ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah.
We can't wait, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him up and close and personal. I've watched him an awful lot, you know that, but
right.
He reminds me a lot of Deion, to be perfectly honest with you. Is that a legitimate? I mean, I'm not comparing them, because obviously Deion has done it, but is that a legitimate observation?
Very, very, very legitimate. I'm saying a lot of folks don't understand how much he models himself, his game as far as defensively after Coach Prime. You know what I'm saying? The things that he's able to do on the field, the way he's able to really take in the coaching, and really the main thing is his competitiveness, man. He's one of the most fiercest competitors that I've ever seen in my life. I'm saying he's just so competitive in everything that he does, and that's why he's going to be great. He's so particular on the details. The details are the little things, and that will make him a great player, Coach.
Yes,
and because he takes in the very little things that people don't see or never look for. He's looking for to get that edge. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes him great, and that's what's going to make him great at the next level. You haven't seen how good he can be, because he hasn't had a chance to just sit back and just be one side of the ball. Just take, for instance, in our games when we play, I don't get a chance to talk to him and give him instructions unless they score a touchdown and he come over there, and it might be for a minute or two. I can be able to tell him what I need to tell him.
Right.
He'll take that and put that right into the game, and never lose a step. But that's difficult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get the game, get adjustments to the game, and not being on that side, being able to do it. And I can give it to him in like a minute, and he understands what we're doing and turns it on, man. And I think that's what's different about him. He's able to process the game a lot faster than most people, and that's what makes him play faster as a football player.
9-year NFL vet Kevin Matthysse here with us. He's the cornerbacks coach for the University of Colorado, was also the coach there at Jackson State. So he's had Travis Hunter under his tutelage the last few years. Kevin, talking to Travis Hunter as the people around him in the state of Georgia at his high school, and we kind of got this vibe by hearing him talk last night and today as well. He apparently is all football, man. Football and fishing, right? And I guess one of his high school coaches told me a little Call of Duty mixed in. But when you talk about the Heisman Trophy winner, how uber popular he is, you know, everything that goes in with being Travis Hunter for the last 2 to 3 years in particular, it hasn't really gotten to his head. It's just football, football, football all the time with this guy. Is that accurate?
That is, I'm saying, but he does, you know, he's very well-rounded kid. I'm saying he does football and fishing, and then usually forgot pajamas in there. He's gonna have some pajamas on. But he just, you know, he's about football. He's about fishing. He's, you know, about being, you know, just doing the things that he like to do, and you know, he doesn't let anything get to him, and I think that's what that's really special about him. I'm saying he always keeps an even keel. He don't get too high when things are going great. And when something happens bad, he doesn't get too low. I think that's what allows him to be who he is, because he just stays right there. He's a real humble kid, you know. Heisman Trophy, whether it be the second pick of the draft, he's still going to be Travis, you know. That's not going to change it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He probably is if it wasn't quarterback central, he'd have been the first pick in the draft. So, you know, there's no question his abilities and what he's done. One of the things that people are, you know, when we get feedback from some of the viewers and some of the people that are out there in the text lines and all that, there's a little bit of a concern about injury factor if he's going to, you know, play on both sides of the ball. And my answer to a lot of that was I felt that you get hurt more on the defensive side of the ball than you do on the offensive ball side of the ball. Is that your opinion as well?
You're right. You're right about that, Coach. And to ease everybody's concern on that injury prone, true. When I talked to him last night and when I talked to him again this morning, I said, man, first thing you do is go in there and find that strength and conditioning coach.
There you go.
I said, that's the first thing you do.
Yep.
I said, you take him in there, and he's a hard worker. All right, so he's a hard worker, and it was hard just to keep him healthy because he was playing so many plays. So, you know, he has to do better in the weight room. I think that was one I've seen him over the last 3 years develop into a real worker in that weight room. But if you got a plan for him in the weight room, I think that'll be something that's going to help him at that next level, being able to work out with the right people and put his body in the best shape that it can be. It's going to be a lot different. His body's going to be a lot different but when camp started than it is today, just for the simple fact that he's going to have a good training staff to get him right.
Final moment.
I think, better keep him on the field.
Final moments with Kevin Matthysse. You know, Kevin, you being around Travis as much as you've been, you obviously know him, have a great perspective on him. You also played in the league for 9 years. You made the playoffs 5 of those 9 years. So you're a perfect person to ask. Is it possible to do what Travis Hunter wants to do? I mean, he sounds like he wants to play basically starter reps at wide receiver and defensive back. And no one's really ever done that. I mean, even Deion, I guess that's the one you can compare to, but Deion didn't do that, but very, very rarely. Charles Woodson really didn't do it until kind of later on in his career, just sporadically, and it wasn't starter reps on offense. Is that physically possible to do what Travis Hunter wants to do?
I think so. I think that's one thing I know about Travis. I think when he puts his mind to it, I know he can get it done. And he's not just getting it done. He wants to do it and be excellent at doing it. That was the main thing when we talked about getting him at Jackson. When he got there, playing both ways, we had to make sure he was dominant on one side of the ball before he could play the other side of the ball. And he took that challenge on and done it. Now, I did play 9 years in the league, 10 years in the league, and I've never seen anybody practice every day like he practiced. Now, when we were with the Cowboys, Deion and Michael Irvin, you know, Emmitt Smith, those guys practice. I'm talking about practice hard each and every day. And didn't give up a rep. I was second team when I first got there, and I never got scout reps because Deion and Kevin Smith both took all the reps. And I think Travis is that same way. He takes every rep in practice. And I'm talking about he's not taking no plays off in practice. on offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball. So he's taking every rep, and they're 100%. You know, he's giving it everything he got every play. So I know he has the mindset that he could do the same thing at the next level. It's just going to take him a minute to figure out the speed at the next level, the first couple of mini camps, and then he'll be able to see what all it's going to take for him to be successful on both sides of the ball. But I think he can do it.
Before we say goodbye, we got about 60 seconds left. Being on the Colorado staff, being as close to Deion as you are, how frustrating is it to see Shedeur Sanders fall in the draft so far?
You know what? Very frustrating. You know what I'm saying? But I know everything happens for a reason. Wherever he gets, he's going to have that chip on his shoulder, which is great. It's fine. It doesn't make, just because you're a first-round pick, doesn't make you a Hall of Famer. It doesn't make you an NFL starter. You got to, once you get there, you just got to show who you are. And I think he's going to be perfect wherever he lands, and he'll be ready to go.
That's exactly right. In fact, Leon Searcy, who I'm sure you know, is on a show with me during the day, and Leon said, just remember this, only 1.5% of all college players play pro football. And you don't have to be number one pick. You could be the 35th, 500th pick, and if you're good enough, you make it. So
you're right.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what he does as well. Kevin, thank you so much. I hope your family's doing really well. And, I know you're getting a lot of guys down there. I understand Zimmer might be coming down a little bit as a consultant or something. I hope that works out.
Yeah, I think it will. He's been down a couple of times. We'll try to keep him down here.
Yeah, well, listen, good luck with next year. And, hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, anytime, Coach. You got me.
Okay, Kevin. Thanks.
Thank you, Kevin. What a great interview. Kevin Matthysse, 9-year NFL vet. Again, he coached Travis Hunter at Jackson State, coached him at the University of Colorado. Love getting that perspective. And there's a guy that played 9 years in the league, a guy that played for you when you were the coordinator in Dallas. I mean, played on 5 playoff teams, and he played a DB at the highest level for almost a decade. He thinks Travis Hunter can do this. He thinks he can play both sides of the ball, possibly even at starter reps on both sides of the ball. To me, I'll be honest with you, and then this is just media guy talking, I think that is far-fetched, I guess, because I just can't imagine. So how is this going to play out? And we got to go quick here. I mentioned this yesterday to Blue. All right, Jaguars and the Texans, opening day. Travis Hunter's playing wide receiver. Opening drive, Jaguars, 9 plays, 70 yards, get a Cam Little field goal. But on that drive, Travis Hunter has 3 catches for 27 yards. He comes off to the sideline, gets a splash of Gatorade. Now he's got to go out and cover Nico Collins?
Yeah, I think that's unrealistic from the standpoint if you're talking about playing every single down on both sides of the ball. It's got to be managed. For example, this kid is so good instinctively. I saw him, I don't know if you might have seen it because it's on every highlight film, but I saw him in the red zone covering a guy on a skinny post, and they threw a wheel out of the backfield to the back. He's breaking inside. He sees well enough. He sees the ball being thrown to the wheel. He wheels off and intercepts the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, I did see that, yep.
Now, if you just said, okay, you're going to play on third downs because there's only going to be so many third downs, and you're going to play when they get inside the 30-yard line, the amount of running you do is not going to be there. So you're not actually playing every single down, but you're a two-way starter. You're like a nickelback, basically, in that situation. You're going to be, there's going to be 3 corners or 4 corners that are going to play during the course of the game, but you can manage that part of it. I think it's easier to do that than try to get him to play every single play. And part of it is what, he's a smart guy, but part of it is what Kevin said about, you got to have a little bit of time over there to kind of clean up things between series and stuff. So there's going to be some of that down there. But he has the instincts and the mentality that he doesn't need a lot of reps. It's like, a lot of talking. It's like Deion. You didn't fool with Deion. Let him go out and play ball. He knows how to play ball. And that's a little bit of Travis Hunter as I see it.
That's the head coach, Dave Campo. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. You are the city of Jacksonville. We'll keep you updated on the draft. I'll tell you this, there's a tight end run. We've had, in the last 10 or so picks, dozen picks, Arroyo, your guy from Miami, is gone. Ferguson from Oregon is gone. Mason Taylor, Jason Taylor's son from LSU, is gone. It's funny how that happens, right? Once one domino happens and teams get a little spooked, I guess. Yeah. And we've had 3 tight ends in the last 10 picks.
That's why you can't, as a prognosticator, say this is the next most available players and stuff like that, because it really comes down to that.
We are at pick, where are we? We're at pick 52, 53 right now. The Jaguars pick at 70. We'll probably still be on. We'll probably still be on. That's an hour and 20 minutes from now. I would think we'd get 17 picks in when that ultimately does happen. I'll tell you what, with that as a backdrop, we just talked to a coach that coached Travis Hunter in high school or in college. When we come back, let's talk to the man that spent 4 years with Travis in the state of Georgia at his high school at Collins Hill. Drew Swick is a guy that I had a conversation with earlier today. You want to talk about a guy that knows Travis Hunter, knew him when he was 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, went through the recruiting process with him, that whole situation when he didn't go to Florida State, went to Jackson State. This guy knows Travis Hunter. Coached him for 4 years in high school. You'll hear from Drew Swick next. 1010XL, 92.5 FM. It's Hacker After Dark.
Your front row seat to history in the making.
The Florida Gators, they are the 2025 national champions.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Work Zone Awareness Week is a reminder to prioritize safety every time you drive. Road workers are out there improving Florida's highways, and they depend on you to slow down and stay alert. Speeding and distractions put lives at risk, yours and theirs. Let's work together to protect everyone on the road. Remember, when you see orange cones, safety comes first. This is a message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight? But it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball at the newly renovated 5-Star Ballpark is your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jackshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers, and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. Get get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Mia O'Brien is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
Shania Twain.
Let's go, girls.
Live in Jacksonville. Shania Twain. 2 incredible shows. Daly's Place, July 29th, and Due to Demand, second show added July 30th. With special guest Mackenzie Porter. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. For more, visit ShaniaTwain.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is John Johnson with First Coast Recycling. We buy junk cars. If you have a car or a truck that you're looking to get rid of, then look no further. If you absolutely, positively have to get that car out of there, accept no substitutes. Fast cash is at your fingertips. Just call First Coast Recycling at 904-294-1659 today for a quick and easy quote. Come on, let's take your driveway back.
It's heating up at Ride Now Jacksonville. Get water adventure ready with the 2024 Yamaha AR195 boat. With its supercharged engine, innovative design, and water sports features, the Yamaha AR195 is ready for anything you throw at it. Originally $46,000, now just $36,000. Oversized in-floor storage for wakeboards and extra gear. Deck and hull design that maximizes space, comfort, and versatility like no other 19-foot boat. Ride Now Jacksonville on Blanding Boulevard. We'll meet or beat any price on all 2024 and prior models.
Spring is in the air, and it's time for cool boats at hot prices. Come to the Jacksonville Spring Boat Show, April 25th, 26th, and 27th at Metropolitan Park. Don't miss killer deals on boats and accessories, plus fishing seminars, kids events, and more. The Jacksonville Spring Boat Show, presented by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. Come by boat and get in free. Tickets and info at boatjacks.com. That's boatjacks.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, he's Hacker. After Dark on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. One night ago, Travis Hunter became a Jacksonville Jaguar as the Jaguars trade up from 5 to 2 to get the Heisman Trophy, all-world wide receiver and defensive back from the University of Colorado. Long before Colorado and Jackson State, Travis Hunter went to high school just north of us in the state of Georgia, Collins Hill High School in the near the Atlanta area. And Drew Swick is the head coach now of that high school. He's an alum of that high school, and he coached Travis Hunter all 4 years at that high school. And Coach Swick joins us here on 1010XL. Coach, how you doing?
Good, Ryan. Thank you for having me on. Blessed to be here today.
Hey, Coach, thank you. Your emotions last night, a kid you knew in 8th and 9th grade, you've seen grow up to win the Heisman Trophy, and now you see him as a first-round pick in the NFL. That must have been a special night for you in that school.
Very special because the kid comes from a humble background. You know, he's one of the nicest kids and somebody that's going to do something for everybody else. He celebrates everybody's successes, you know, not just his own, but that's his ultimate goal, is to help take care of everybody, including his family. And you know, got to see the kid come up as a 9th grader, you know, and then really become Travis Hunter his junior year. And then the rest was kind of history. And he made me look good along the way. So I'm happy about that. And, you know, now Collins Hill is a household name. And I'm also blessed because Collins Hill is a special place.
Coach, take us through it. I mean, Travis Hunter is an all-world player. I mean, the Heisman Trophy winner speaks for that in and of itself, but you talk about potentially playing both ways in the NFL, wide receiver, DB. I mean, Travis played over 100 snaps a game at the University of Colorado playing for Deion Sanders. I mean, you knew this kid when he was 14, 15 years old. When did you know that you had something special there at Collins Hill with Travis Hunter.
Yeah, so when he first got there, I was the outside linebackers coach on the defense, and Coach Gregory was the head coach, Lenny Gregory. And, Dad called Coach Gregory and told us that he had a kid that was ready for varsity, and we hear that a lot. And we chuckled, but then when we got out to practice and he was shutting down our senior wide receivers, we were like, damn, this kid's legit. And he was a string bean back there. I mean, he's probably like 135 pounds soaking wet. Wasn't as tall, but, as he kind of grew up, and then really his junior year is when he became Travis Hunter. I was able to take over as defense coordinator, and we ended up going to our school's first ever state championship appearance. And we ended up losing to Grayson because we were more concerned about the atmosphere, while Grayson was locked in. They had been there, done that. And we ended up losing. But then the next year we go back, in 21, we played Milton, and they probably had one of the best teams they've ever had under Coach Ben Reeves over there. And, it was one of those things after 2020, everybody in the locker room was all on the same page. Wasn't a lot of crying or everybody was upset, but everybody had the same goal, the mindset when we left that locker room. And it was one of the greatest feelings ever because we set tons of records. You had Travis Hunter, do his thing. You had Sam Horn, Ethan Davis. You had a ton of dudes all around. And then a great coaching staff with a coach staff that had 4 or 5, head coaches or guys that had been head coaches before. So the experience, top to bottom was unmatched. And then you throw in our community, our Collinsville community, and as well, when Collinsville is going well, there's no better place. And, Travis has made that 10 times better with his, eclectic attitude and the things that he does on Friday nights.
Drew Swick is the head coach of Collins Hill up in the state of Georgia. He coached Travis Hunter all 4 years of Travis's high school career. Travis Hunter, the newest Jacksonville Jaguar, drafted last night, number 2 overall. We hear Travis Hunter is all about ball and fishing, Coach. Those are his hobbies. Those might be his only hobbies, football and fishing. Is he all ball? I mean, is that something that you can't overstate? I mean, is he all football?
He's all ball, but I mean, he is an introvert in a sense, but when he's got to get out in the public, he's the life of the room, the life of the party. And, he's just different. Like, he makes everybody around him better. And, on the football field, and I'm talking the corners, the field side corner, the outside linebacker star. We had him play safety his senior year so he could take away the entire field. We had him play field corner his junior year to take away half the field, and then we got smart and moved him to safety. But, he went down in game 8 in 2021 in Peachtree Ridge. He ended up, breaking his ankle. And they told the kid he had like 8 weeks to recover. And he said, I'll be back for the semifinal game, and he ended up coming back for that. We played Grayson and ended up, beating them 49-0 at home, which was, a great feeling and something that we needed to do in order to go win the state championship that next year because they had beaten us the year before like that. But, very different. But when he puts his mind, to a goal or he has a goal in mind, he's going to do everything possible to get there and reach that. And it's all to make, his family, get his family out of where they've come from, make everybody around him, successful. And that's the best thing about the kid. He's not going to parties and doing all that. So, yes, his fishing, that's one thing that he is he's all about, fishing and Call of Duty. That's the 2 things that we were able to do together at Collins Hill.
What's interesting, you talk about Travis Hunter. I mean, the guy's obviously a leader. He's not a follower. I mean, a 5-star player. I'm sure you were right there with him in all that recruiting process when he was committed to Florida State. A lot of kids would have gone to Florida State, or if you decommit, you go to some other big-time school. He became, I believe at the time, the first 5-star that went to an HBCU in Jackson State to play for Deion Sanders, then followed Coach Prime out to Colorado. And now he is gung-ho on the fact of playing both ways in the NFL. He talked about it time and time again, both last night and today. I mean, what does that say about the character of a Travis Hunter?
There's not many young kids like that. When he went to Jackson State, it's just like any great athlete. They want to be coached by the GOAT. And, Deion Sanders was at Jacksonville State at the time. Florida State did a tremendous job. They were there all the time. They had the entire coach staff in 2020 at our state championship game and 21. And, I felt real bad for how that kind of went out. But, I mean, he was looking at it in the overall perspective. He wasn't looking at it as now. He's looking at it as how can I help HBCUs? How can I help, the youth understand that you can get a great degree at HBCU and still be able to go play NFL and be successful. And the path that he chose was to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. He got to be coached by Deion Sanders, the GOAT, who basically, helped pave that path for him and showed him all the right moves to make in order to be the Heisman Trophy and then ultimately get drafted in the first round. But, Florida State was his dream school, and I think he had a lot of people in his corner kind of telling him the right things to do, obviously, and every move that he had made really did kind of help him boost his status and really solidify his status in college and really right now in the NFL.
Coach, as we begin to wrap up, wide receiver, it looks like that's at least where he's going to start primarily, and they're going to sprinkle him in at defensive back as we get through OTAs, minicamp, and obviously into training camp in July. I mean, fans here are salivating at the idea of Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. on one side and Travis Hunter on the other side. How do you think Travis Hunter's game will coincide with that of Trevor's and BTJ's?
Yeah, they got studs on that offense right now, and they needed that. But like for him, he's going to play offense. He's going to have a long career being a receiver, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be able to come in on a 3rd and long and be able to come in and play nickel. He may be 80-20%, 80% offense, 20% defense. But, if that's something that he wants to do, he's going to find a way to do it. And that's just who he is. And I love that about him. But, the best thing for him is he's become the standard, and he's become that role model, that path for these young kids, throughout the world and our nation to kind of look at and model and how to carry themselves. So, couldn't have happened to a better person, but I'm super excited to watch him play. And I think he is going to play both sides of the ball, but he'll start off obviously receiver, and he'll get his time in there at defensive back, maybe in a 3rd and long, or, whatever they got to do in a nickel package, dime package.
You can't find anybody to say a negative thing about Travis Hunter. You obviously, Coach, know him better than most. What kind of guy is coming to the city of Jacksonville? We know the player that he is, but what is the community getting? He's going to bring the juice every single day. And it may be, through the dance that he did last night. It may be with his smile, but he's also one of the funniest kids I've ever met and talked to as well. And he's just overall great kid. I mean, he's not doing anything that you got to worry about. And that's the best thing about him, and again, like I said, he makes everybody better around him. And, that smile is contagious. And, you saw it last night on national television, but once you get around him, you'll understand kind of what everybody talks about. But man, he can talk to you about anything. He's very easy to talk to, and he'll sit down and talk to you if, you got time. But, that's kind of who he is. If it's a little kid that wants an autograph, he's always going to take that time to do those little things like that, because it's not about him. It's really about, the overall game and the future of the game. Have you had a chance to talk to him recently? I talked to him yesterday. We're going to his wedding this summer. So Coach Fountain and then Dr. Childs, those are in Coach Walford, who's at GAC right now. But, I'm excited to see him. I kind of let him do his thing. Right now he's very busy. He's got a lot going on. But, I'm going to end up being able to talk to him at the wedding. And then I got to text him last night. So, super happy and proud for him. Drew Swick, the head coach there up in the state of Georgia. He coached Travis Hunter for 4 years at the Travis Collins Hill High School there in Swanee. You guys are right outside of Atlanta, correct? Is that the location? Yeah. Yes, sir. Swanee, Georgia is kind of the old Falcons training facilities where our high school is located off the exit. Yeah, so Travis coming back to the southeast, only about 350 miles or so away, now here in Jacksonville with the Jaguars. Coach, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for the time, pal. We'll talk again soon. Appreciate it, Ryan. Thanks for having me on. Love the perspectives. We've talked to Kevin Matthysse, a college position coach of Travis Hunter, Drew Swick, the high school coach of Travis Hunter. You were a head coach in the National Football League. What you've heard over the last 25 minutes, you got a smile on your face right now. I mean, you're hearing everything you want to hear, right? Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, the thing that's the most important thing, consistent. Mm-hmm. You just heard two coaches that have coached the guy, and they both said the very same things about the young man. At very different points. I mean, Drew Swick coached him when he was 16. Right. Kevin Matthysse had him when he was, 20, 21. Exactly. No, we're getting a quality young man that's the one that sticks out to me more than anything else is when he puts his mind to something, and he said that in today's press conference. Mm-hmm. He said, well, if I put my mind to it, we'll get it. We'll find a way to get it done. And that's what they're both saying. And listen, Jacksonville, I don't know about the people you're talking about that are complaining about it, but that was a tremendous decision for the organization, and it will bear out. I'm convinced of that. I agree. I'm over the moon. And I'm not super positive guy. You know that, right. Knowing me for years. Than you are. Yeah, there's no question. I am not sunshine and rainbows. I have never been confused with a guy that's overflowing with positivity when it comes to the Jaguars. Just follow me on social media during the games, all right? I get ticked.
Yeah.
Some people call it negativity. I call it reality. And what reality's been is the team has been awful for the better part of 15 years, but I am overflowing with positivity about what the Jaguars did last night with Travis Hunter. Speaking of the Jaguars, we are about 13 picks away. The last couple of picks, quickly, Coach, Anthony Belton, Trey Harris, Ozzie Trapillo. We're getting to the realm of guys that we've talked about that could potentially maybe be there at 70 for the Jags. That's their next pick. Obviously, these guys are going in the mid-50s. Anything stand out to you about the guys that have just gone off the board, particularly Anthony Belton, Trey Harris, or Ozzie Trapillo from Boston College?
Yeah, well, first of all, the two big uns, I like both of them.
You said Searcy liked Belton, right?
Belton, yeah, Searcy said he hoped he would be there. But, you know, again, it's runs. You talked about the tight ends a little earlier. You know, I mean, once these guys start to go, people get a little bit nervous about, can I hang out? If they can't move, they you know, to get up to get somebody, you know, the big guy, the big ones are going to start going, the guards. I'm just hopeful there's still some out there that are going to be there at 70. I feel good about that. So we'll see what happens. And
the Lions just picked Tate Ratledge from Georgia.
Well, see, I thought Ratledge was going to go earlier than this. So that's good in my opinion, because there's going to be some guys that I had, you know, that are going to back up because of him going there. You know, we're getting to the point where there'll be some guys that I like going forward.
We'll get into this in the following hour. Again, we're with you for about another 45, 50 minutes or so. The Jaguars are about a dozen picks away. And they have 2 picks tonight, by the way. They have 70 and 88 tonight, and then 7 picks tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very busy day for James Gladstone and Liam Cohen at pick 70. O-line, D-line, do you have a preference, or do you just want somebody big?
I want a big one. You know, and again, you know, it seems like we need to protect the quarterback. You know, I'm a defensive guy.
Yeah.
We will, part of the protection is keeping them off the field. You know, so, I mean, keeping the other team off the field so that they can get out there and do their thing offensively. So I would love a defensive tackle that can rush the passer, or an edge guy that gives you somebody that can rush the passer. But I think the offensive line would be number one with me right now.
You know why? And I know you know why, but I'm being the rhetorical. You know why Troy Aikman and Emmett and Michael Irvin were able to do their thing for the Cowboys and be America's team in the mid-'90s? Well, when you have Larry Allen and Eric Williams and all those gigantic monsters on the front lines there on the offensive line that give Aikman time and open those holes for Emmett, it makes your job a heck of a lot easier. Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, we're all thrilled about the possibility.
Right.
Got to keep Trevor Lawrence upright.
Absolutely.
Got to keep him off the ground. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. He is the head coach, Dave Campo. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. We'll get more into the NFL draft. We also, in about 20 minutes or so, we will go to Cleveland. My guy up in Cleveland is Scott Petrak of BrownZone.com. What was the reaction in Cleveland today about them saying essentially thanks, but no thanks to Travis Hunter? It was an interesting conversation in Cleveland, I can tell you that. We'll go to Scott Petrak on the ground in Cleveland in about 20 minutes. Hacker After Dark till 10 o'clock. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. Add a little fun to your morning ride.
Did you say something funny right this minute?
Dan Hicken.
I doubt it.
Jeff Prosser.
Is this Crystal? That's funny.
The Drill.
Allow me to spare you the embarrassment.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Charles.
6. Oh, so close. Betty for the steal.
What about the bank that helps you reach your financial goals? Synovus.
Let's see, judges.
Yes,
Looks like we have a winner.
That's a number?
Sorry, Charlie. Remember, a solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Talk with Synovus about your potential today. Brought to you by Synovus Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. The number was 4.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Leon Cersei here. Let's be real. I used to eat like a lineman because I was one. And man, those habits are hard to break. I needed help to stop with the munchies and lose weight. But now, I'm bringing sexy back. I call Physician Guided Weight Loss. Their medical team is helping me shed pounds safely with a custom plan to help me slim down. And their firm pricing means same price every month. Hey, you want to bring sexy back? Visit Physician Guided Weight Loss at pgweightloss.com.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
It's game time for your business, and Advanced Business Solutions has the winning play. With Xerox copiers, you'll never miss a deadline. Fast, reliable, and built for high performance, Xerox copiers keep your team ahead of the competition. From printing to scanning, Xerox brings the MVPs of efficiency to your office. Ready to make the winning move? Hire the champions at Advanced Business Solutions. Veteran owned.
Printers, copiers, and IT management. Advanced Business Solutions.
What Major League Baseball team has never been to a World Series? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Seattle Mariners, who were founded in 1977, have never been to the World Series.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Hacker After Dark. The head coach, Dave Campo, in studio with us. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. RJ Saunders is your producer tonight. RJ, you're now entering the final hour of a 6-hour marathon on the Friday of the draft. How are you feeling? Where are you emotionally?
Oh, no, I've enjoyed every moment of it. I mean, especially being with guys who I've been with and interacted with for a long time, and you and Coach Campo. It's always fun being able to do these kind of shows.
RJ's the ultimate team player. That was such a great answer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Such a great answer.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, it was still a great public answer. No question about that. All right, Coach, the draft continues. The Jaguars are getting closer. It's still a little ways away. I got to be honest with you, man. Not that this will be a big talking point moving forward, but let's go. I mean, they've drafted for 2 hours tonight, and they've made 26 picks. They're really slow this evening. I am stunned we're still in round 2 at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, usually it goes pretty fast, at least the first 10 or so of the second round, because they've had all night to kind of sort it out and everything. But this one's going a little longer than normal, I think.
All right, take us in the war room down to the Miller Electric Center. You got 2 picks tonight, 80 and 88. Pick 59, or I'm sorry, 70 and 88. 70 and 88.
Right.
Pick 59 is taking place right now. You're 10 picks away. When you're 10 picks away, what's the conversation going on right now with Liam Cohen, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli?
Well, they're probably talking about moving if they want to get somebody in specific, but they've narrowed it down now to where they think there's going to be one of, 3 or 4 or 5 guys that are going to be there at 70 if they have to move, if they can't move. And they may not want to move. They may have a group there that they feel comfortable with. They're talking it through, making sure that, hey, if somebody trades up or whatever to a different spot, now you've got to readjust it. If one of their guys is gone. It's really they're grinding right now to make sure what they're going to do in these next 2 picks, and they're still discussing. Okay, here's who's left. Do we really want a defensive lineman here? We don't quite have the grade on him that we do on, this guy. Are we going to make that? Are we set that that's where we want to go with this guy if he's there?
I look at the next 4 picks. I look at the 2 tonight, 70 and 88. And I look at the first 2 tomorrow, 104 and 107, reasonably early round 4 selections. These next 4 guys, you have to hit on these guys.
Huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and especially this year, because I think they feel, as we've talked about with Travis Hunter, they feel this team is close to being able to compete in the division for the title, in my opinion. Well, that's with some additions that are going to be major contributors. And so for me, that's right now, that's the bulk of your squad is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks. So, you're looking at a big decision right here.
I mean, you obviously, by the way, Mike Green from Marshall just goes off the board. Of course, he goes to Baltimore. I mean, Of course he does. Baltimore or Philadelphia. Well, they just draft defensive ends in round 2 and round 3 that'll have double-digit sacks.
And also, they feel like they've got the locker room that can handle guys that have a little edge on them.
Yeah.
And that's Baltimore. I mean, that's Green.
Mm-hmm.
Green has gotten some off-field issues and good player. But that's part of the way we did some things in Dallas. We had Michael Irvin, who was kind of an edge guy, really good guy. I'm not trying to, but he was on the edge. Haley. So we had some guys but our locker room could handle it. And that's a decision that has to be made. When you're talking about a guy that's a little questionable in some areas.
You know the Jaguar roster very well. I don't get a chance to talk to many former head coaches in the National Football League. We talk about the next 4 picks. You mentioned you want the big guys with 70 and 88. Perfect scenario for you. Let's say they do go big, either O-line or D-line with the next 2 selections. Going into tomorrow, are you starting to branch out to whether it's edge, whether it's safety, corner? What's your thought process with the 2 early selections tomorrow?
Well, to me, it really starts to come down to need. Who do we need to finish out this roster with? And we want guys that have a chance to compete now. We don't want, just to throw, they don't just throw stuff up on a wall and see what comes out. I mean, they're grading these guys. And to me, I think, I want the big guys because I think those are 2 positions where we can help this football team. But, if there's a corner that's out there that they feel is, there's some guys still going to be there that have a chance to compete in the 5th round, guys. So, they're still grinding. They're going to look at the best available once it starts to get to that point. They're going to take the best guy that helps them win.
You got 4 semi-local guys that you wouldn't mind seeing the Jaguars go with at number 70, 2 on the O-line, 2 on the D-line. Let's begin on the O-line. The 2 guys left from Georgia, Wilson, the center, and Fairchild, the guard. You like both of those guys.
I sure do. Yeah, and a couple other guys, Frazier and a couple other offensive guys that are pretty good.
As far as defensively, Joshua Farmer, Florida State. That's a guy I like.
Yeah.
I like Farmer. Kyle Kennard, South Carolina, is another one.
Yep.
Now, it still might be a little early, but I like Cam Jackson as well from Florida. Maybe I'm just got the Homer orange and blue glasses on there.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little early for him, but it's probably not too early for Farmer.
Yeah.
And we were talking about interior defensive linemen with Mason Graham. If you tell me pick 70 comes around and they take Joshua Farmer from Florida State, I'm going to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that any defensive lineman or offensive lineman that they feel is good enough to come in and compete. Because I still have, we talk about being optimistic. I still have positiveness in my brain and my heart for Mason Smith.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do too. He came on at the end of last year.
I think he can be a really good. But again, there's something there that kept him from. I know he had a little ankle injury or whatever, but there was some scratches that there was no talk about any injury. So that's got to be cleaned up. And sometimes it takes these guys a year from a professional standpoint to be a professional.
Did you see anything, or I shouldn't say that, did you see enough of Jordan Jefferson to have an opinion one way or the other?
Yeah, I the one thing I liked about Jordan Jefferson, and I don't have an opinion, to be honest with you, he didn't even get out there enough. The one thing I do have opinion about, though, when I was watching him on the sled, I think you remember in training camp, I said to you, let me tell you something. When he hits you, that sled moves. So who knows? Those are guys that are still there. But, I just, those 2 positions, we need some help for those outside rushers.
A couple of more picks that have just come off the board. R.J. Harvey, the running back, UCF, goes to Denver. Trey Amos, the cornerback from Ole Miss.
I like Amos.
Goes to Washington.
Yep.
As far as corner and wide receiver, I don't think they're done. I think they'll address those later on in the draft tomorrow. Here's my question about that. You have Travis Hunter, right? So you put him on the depth chart in the wide receiver room. I guess you got to put him on the depth chart in the cornerback room. So let's think about this. At wide receiver now, you got Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, I guess Gabe Davis, although they're not talking about him an awful lot.
Right.
Parker Washington, De'Ami Brown.
Yeah.
In whatever order you want to put them in.
Yep.
Corners, Tyson Campbell, Jordan Lewis, Jarian Jones, Travis Hunter.
Yep.
Monteric Brown, DeAndre Prince. I mean, how do you go about drafting wide receiver or corner with Travis Hunter, I guess, being in both spots right now?
Well, I think you have to treat Travis like, in the draft process, you treat him like, hey, we're getting 2 players for 1.
Right.
But in the roster, you've got to make sure that you have enough corners for him not to play if he's going to be a wide receiver or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to be a DB primarily, you still have to take somebody because, like we said earlier, he's not going to play every single snap.
No.
So the one thing about the draft, the corners, and some of this you get in free agency after the draft is over, but you have to have more corners and more receivers just from an injury factor with hamstrings and soft tissue issues in training camp and going, so they're going to start picking some of those guys for sure.
That is the head coach, Dave Campo. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. All right, here's what we're going to do. The Jaguars are about 8 picks away. RJ, let's do this. Scott Petrak is my Cleveland guy. He's been so for years, brownzone.com. I wanted to get a feel of what the reaction was like in Cleveland today. There were some people, when I listened to their sports radio show this morning up there, the fan base was fuming mad. I mean, fuming mad that they said thanks, but no thanks to Travis Hunter. Some of the radio guys were trying to spin it that this is a really great move by Barry, the GM. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying we've never done that here on 1010XL and Jacksonville. You spin things a little bit.
Us optimistic people.
I mean, we put lipstick on a pig from time to time. We've done some of that for the Jaguars in recent memory. But Scott Petrak's a guy that I've had on for years because he pretty much shoots you straight. He's going to tell you what he thinks about the Browns. That's why he's been a reporter up there for years. What has been the vibe in Cleveland today about saying no thank you to Travis Hunter, but getting all those picks from the Jaguars? We'll go to Cleveland next. Scott Petrak, brownzone.com, Hacker After Dark, till 10 o'clock, right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jacksonville's home for Florida Gators baseball.
It's a weekend of SEC baseball with number 5 Arkansas and Florida. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon on 1010 a.m.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight? But it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJax.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Put the ball in the net with 60 minutes of soccer talk. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Spring is sprung, and so have the bugs. It's Hayes Carline and my friends at Kingfish Pest Control offer an exclusive $99 spring special. That's right, your initial pest control service is just $99. And if you call today, they'll include a free one-time mosquito treatment. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned, 5-star rated with no binding contracts, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call them now to book your service. Only at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. In the summertime, it really can stretch out most of the year because we love the warm temperatures here in the Sunshine State. Greg, give them an idea of what Honda has to offer.
They are all over the board. They've got Honda scooters, Honda motorcycles, we've got Honda boats, we've got Honda side-by-sides. So whatever you like, we've got it.
That means adventure is waiting.
That's right, and we're ready for you.
In the showroom, you can find all that Honda has to offer on Atlantic near Regency, or check out Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Eye & Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Colimer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, he's Hacker. After dark on 1010XL.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville, your home for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are glad you are with us. Of course, a huge trade last night in round number 1 of the NFL Draft. The Jaguars trading with Cleveland, going from 5 to number 2 to land Travis Hunter. We've obviously talked about that a ton over the last 24 hours. What about the Cleveland side of this? Well, going back to 5, getting Mason Graham, securing other draft picks, including a first-round pick next year. Our guy up in Cleveland, Scott Petrak, BrownZone.com, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Scott, how we doing, man?
I'm good. Tired, but good.
Yeah, I hear you. Believe me, I hear you about being tired. All right, Jaguar fans, for the most part, love the trade from a Jacksonville perspective. What about the Cleveland Browns fans? How have they reacted today to what went down last night?
They're not happy. And it starts with, the Browns have been so bad for most of, the last couple of decades, and they're coming off 3-14. And the Deshaun Watson trade has everybody in a bad mood overall. So they go in with a bad attitude. And then there'd been so much talk about Travis Hunter and the Browns picking him at number 2 that a lot of fans had gotten excited about that possibility. And I think they feel like the rug was yanked out from under them. And, not that Mason Graham at number 5 can't be a good player, but he's a defensive tackle. And he's not a running back, and he's not a guy trying to make history as a two-way player. So the reaction I got from social media and buddies was not happy.
It's interesting because I kept an eye on it for the last 24 hours, and it appears the fan base is not happy. Yet I listened to some of your colleagues up in Cleveland this morning, and they seem to be okay with it. I think somebody called it a coup for Cleveland to get a haul from Jacksonville. I obviously don't agree that would be a coup for Cleveland. What was your thought overall?
I think it's fine for the Browns. I completely understand it from Cleveland's perspective, and it's about maximizing the value of that number 2 pick. And maybe that sounds elementary, but it's not just about the player. It's about the picks that the Browns were able to get. And I think it's also about kind of where the Browns are as an organization. And I think that's contrasted with what Jacksonville's trying to do. So the Browns only have to move back 3 spots, and they get a top 5 player in Mason Graham at a premium position. I think defensive tackle now qualifies as a premium position. They get number 36, where they should get a really good player, probably a playmaker at a skill position that can help a really bad offense. And then they get a first rounder next year, which could help them land their future quarterback, depending on how the rest of this draft goes. So if you look at that versus Travis Hunter, I think in totality, it's a better deal for the Browns. Now, I understand, I read some quotes out of Jacksonville, so I understand that the feeling down there is it's about difference makers versus just volume. And that's the big debate. And I think that's why Browns fans are upset, or a lot of them, because Travis Hunter should be a difference maker. And the Browns need difference makers, and they need difference makers on the offensive side of the ball. So that's where the contrast is, but I understand why the Browns did it. It feels like the Browns are at least 2 years away from winning, and they're in a really tough division. So it feels like a bit of a longer-term plan for them. And this organization, this regime with general manager Andrew Berry and chief strategy officer Paul DePodesta has always valued extra picks and trading down, because at the core, the belief is the draft is a crapshoot, and that even applies to Travis Hunter, and you're better off with extra picks.
Final moment, Scott Petrak of BrownZone.com. Scott, in your opinion, why did they not go Travis Hunter? Was there something about him they did not like, or as you said, was it just simply about accumulating more volume?
It's two reasons. He doesn't play quarterback, and they could get a first-round draft pick in 2026.
As simple as that.
Yeah, I think they loved him. I think if Jacksonville doesn't call, and I don't think there's another team, and I could be wrong about this, but I don't think there's another team in the league that would have given up a first-round pick to trade into number 2. And when the Browns got that call from Jacksonville, I think they thought it was too good to pass up. But if they hadn't gotten that call, I think they stay at 2 and draft Travis Hunter and are happy about it.
Final thing for you, Scott. Mason Graham, we had done a lot on him because obviously for months we thought Mason Graham was coming to Jacksonville. That's a nice consolation prize, I guess, for the fans. What has the reaction been to Mason Graham up there this morning?
Yeah, I think people appreciate that he's a good player. I think right now there's still this thing of not getting Travis Hunter. When that dies down, when they see Mason Graham next to Myles Garrett, I think opinion could switch. I was giving some of my buddies a little grief that this feels like a Cleveland pick. It's a defensive line, or interior defensive lineman, played at Michigan, lunch pail kind of guy, right? That's how it feels, but yet people are upset about that. And like I said at the beginning, I think it's just a state of the Browns fans. They're just negative right now, a lot of them. And where at some point in history, whether 4, 6, 8 years ago, I think this would have been viewed a lot more positively because he feels like a Cleveland kind of guy.
I got a Browns buddy down here, and he rattled off, what was it, Cam Irving, Jabril Peppers, Phil Taylor. He said, that's what this feels like. And I said, well, wait a minute. Graham's a good player. And he said, it doesn't matter. Cleveland will find a way to mess it up. And I guess that's what you're saying, right? That's how the fan base feels right now.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And, Andrew Berry, the GM, does not have a great track record drafting. Now, he hasn't had a first-round pick in the last 3 years, so that's part of it, but he's missed. He missed on Jed Wills with his first round pick, and he hasn't been good at defensive tackle either. When he had drafted Tommy Togiai, he drafted Perion Winfrey, Siaki Ika, who were all gone from the Browns within the first 2 years. And then he drafted Mike Hall Jr. from Ohio State last year in the second round, and he was suspended and then hurt. So there's a chance that Hall and Graham can be the future pair in the interior, but up until now, Andrew Berry's like 0-4 on defensive tackles.
Scott Petrak, BrownZone.com. Jacksonville gets Travis Hunter. Cleveland gets Mason Graham, the second rounder, and, of course, the first rounder next season. Scott, we'll have you back on when we do division previews, but I have no doubt they will be rooting passionately in Cleveland for every loss Jacksonville can accumulate. Look, if Jacksonville ends up in the top 10, it's a great deal for Cleveland. If Jacksonville somehow wins the AFC South and that pick becomes 25 or worse, it's probably not a great deal for Cleveland. Is that basically where we are?
Yeah, I think that's completely true. And, the conjecture here, it's not even conjecture, it makes sense that the extra first-round pick could help the Browns get a quarterback next year. Now, who knows? There's a ton of variables left for that to be determined. But 25, if they're drafting 25th, that's probably not a difference maker to get them up to where they would need to draft necessarily, right? But in the top 10, I was saying if you get 2 picks in the top 10, you can do the math to get up to where you need to get a quarterback. So I certainly think that's part of it. And it reminds me a bit of in 2018, 17, when the Browns traded with the Texans, when the Texans took Deshaun Watson. All of a sudden the Browns had the first round pick of the Texans next year, and Watson blows out his ACL. And all of a sudden the Browns have 1-4 the next year where they took Baker Mayfield and Denzel Ward. So I think that would be, not to wish ill upon anybody, but that would be the dream scenario for Cleveland.
Yeah, no question. Scott, appreciate you joining me on short notice. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good.
Jaguars football lives here.
Listen, we sticking together.
1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services, making it easy for you to work with one trusted company and one simple build. Every department has highly skilled experts trained for the job. For fast, reliable service from a company that does it all the right way, call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent accidents and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Mia here. People typically start and end their day by visiting their closet. So shouldn't that space feel calm, organized, like a little moment of luxury? That's why I chose Closets by Design. They specialize in custom solutions for every lifestyle and budget. Call them this week to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus another 15% off and free installation. Don't wait for mom to do it. Call now at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Denny Thompson here. If you haven't heard, Tyson Sound & Security has a house built right inside their showroom, showcasing complete home automation and security systems. You have to see it to believe it. This setup can recognize intruders who approach your door and alerts them to leave if there's a break-in. Keep your family safe with the most state-of-the-art technology. Tyson Sound & Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass. He told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, as you can imagine, it's been all Travis Hunter talk tonight with the head coach Dave Campo, the hacker Ryan Green with you here on Hacker After Dark. We appreciate from high school to the college game to Coach Campo's former player, Kevin Matthysse with the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of reaction about the Travis Hunter trade last night. But, Coach, here we are. The 68th selection is being made by the Las Vegas Raiders as we speak. The Jaguars pick at 70, so we will be on the air with you for over 15 more minutes. So we're only 2 picks away from the Jaguars making their first pick since Travis Hunter. Some players that we both wanted have gone off the board, but there is no question there are still some very good choices available for Jacksonville here in just a matter of moments.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it because we're going to get a good player here. If what I've looked at is any indication, we're going to get a good player here.
So the Raiders at pick 68 go with
DB, Porter.
Porter, the DB.
Yep,
all right.
player.
So the last couple of picks have looked like this. Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end from Bowling Green, went to Cleveland at 67. Darius Alexander is a guy that blew up at the Senior Bowl, the defensive tackle from Toledo. He went to the Giants at 65. Some of the guys, Coach, that you like that are still on the board, Joshua Farmer from Florida State, Kyle Kennard from South Carolina, a couple of Georgia offensive linemen in Wilson and Fairchild. You want a big boy,
Absolutely.
Whether an O lineman or a D lineman, you want the Jaguars to go big here at pick 70.
Absolutely. And again, I just think that from all the talk that's been made by the decision makers with the Jaguars has been that we need to make sure we're solid up front. So to me, hey, that could even be an edge player. It's somebody that gives us a chance to either rush the passer, help us rush the passer, or protect the quarterback.
I don't want to jump the gun here. The pick is in for the Patriots at 69. I may have just received a text that the Jaguars are working on trading back, which would be bad for us, but it would be interesting to see if they accumulate picks. I get nothing official yet.
All I can tell you is there are a bunch of good players at different positions left going into the 4th round. If they get another pick in the 4th round, or move back a little bit in the 3rd round, I think that just gives you another pick, gives you an opportunity. Again, we don't know what's going on with their grades. You know what I mean? and what their thoughts are. So all I can tell you is I want a bunch of players where we got a bunch of picks. And I think there's a bunch left on the board here.
If the Jaguars, again, they're on the clock right now, pick 70, but there are reports coming out that perhaps a trade is in the works for the Jaguars to trade back. Once we get official word, we will let you know. If they did trade back, I mean, again, what does that say about James Gladstone? 2 draft picks as a Jaguar GM, one trading up and making that huge splash last night, maybe trading back right now. He's wheeling and dealing right now.
Just pick those picks back up. You know, that's what he's doing. And again, I'm one of those guys. I've said it a lot of times. The more picks you have, especially in the early rounds, up until the 5th round, those guys all should be contributors of some sort. And with this team, I think you got to have some, some real contributors. Kyle Williams just went off, and he's a good player as well.
If the Jaguars trade back here, and again, once we find out for sure, we'll let you know if they make a pick or if they trade back. If they trade back, it's got to be a pretty clear indication that Gladstone likes the way the board is shaping up right now.
Absolutely. That's what it tells you. For sure.
So, look, I mean, there are positions of need all over this roster.
Correct.
You mentioned O-line. You mentioned D-line. I mean, is there a position that you feel good about that doesn't need to be addressed for the remainder of the draft? Or literally outside of kicker and punter and long snapper, they could address any position on the football team?
With the exception of quarterback.
And you know what? I could see them drafting a quarterback. Yeah, 6th, 7th round.
Now, I'm okay there. Pick is in.
Yeah, so they did trade back with Detroit. And we'll have to get word on what they got, but they did trade back with Detroit. So the Jaguars are now not on the clock. Let me scroll down here and see if it's been updated. The Jaguars still have the 88th pick. They now have pick 102.
Oh, they got 3 really good 4th-round picks.
So 88 and 102 for the Jaguars. And I will have to see what else they got from Detroit. They obviously got more than 102, but if they have 104 and 107, now you're talking about 88, 102, 104, and 107.
Yep.
They got pretty good value there, and they obviously got more than that in the trade back. We just got to figure out exactly what.
I consider the 107 as part of the top 100. Now, I know that that's not legal, but it is to me because there's 107 players in this draft that are pretty good football players.
Yeah. All right, so there is a trade. They did trade 70 to Detroit. Again, I don't have word on what they got back. If you do, hit me up on the text line. If you've seen it, I'm scrolling. I haven't seen what they got back for it. Kind of a buzzkill a little bit, I suppose.
I don't even know who this guy is. I didn't even look at him. I don't know him.
Well,
receiver.
So look, the Jaguars will not be picking. Now, it looks like they have the final pick in round 3. I guess 102 is the final pick in round 3. So they will be making at least 2 picks tonight, 88 and 102, to go with 104 and 107. So, all right. So we only got about 7 or 8 minutes to go here. Travis Hunter, it's going to be nice to actually put some guys with him in the Jaguar draft class. But again, James Gladstone is proving that he is not afraid. Oh, here we go. What does it say? Hang on one second.
I can't see it. Too late.
They got 2026 compensation, a 3rd rounder in 2026, and I think maybe a 4th rounder in 2026. That's pretty. Hey, RJ, find out for sure if you could find out what they got. I just saw the very tail end of it. I know it said a 2026 3rd round selection. So there you go. You trade your 1st rounder for next year, but you just gain a 3rd rounder for next year. So now you got 2 thirds and at least your 2nd. So you're going to have 3 picks on Friday night next year.
Yep.
That's good for James Gladstone, right?
Yep. And that it could allow you to move back into the 1st.
It could, potentially. Yeah, and I think it was 2 2026 draft picks.
Yeah.
We'll try to find exactly what they got, but there's no question. That's good value. And interesting why Detroit would want to do that. I guess you trade a 3rd next year to move up to a 3rd this year.
A 3rd next year is a 4th to them.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's a good point. All right. So, okay, here's what So the wow. Okay. How about this, Coach? So here's the deal. The Lions get pick 70 and 182 this year.
Right.
The Jaguars get pick 102 tonight.
Yep.
And 2 third-round 2026 selections.
Oh, that's perfect.
Your thoughts?
I like it. I like that. Yeah.
So now 3 third-round picks next year for the Jaguars and their second.
And I really think that, that's what the Cowboys did back in the day. We pushed those picks 1 or 2 ahead, and that's what got us, when you're starting to get better, now all of a sudden you're taking guys that make the difference. And I listen, I love 102, 104, and 107. That, to me, those are all third-round picks to me.
Yeah.
Now
what that does mean, though, is the Jaguars now have 2 picks tonight, 88 and 102.
Yes.
But instead of 7 picks tomorrow, they currently have 6.
Yes.
So they will have 9 guys in this draft class as it stands right now.
Right.
Because they did send Detroit 70 and 182. In return, they get 102 this year and 2 third-round picks next year. So then again, you trade your first last night, but now you have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds next year with 1 second and now 3 third-round selections. Again, you can be upset about losing the first rounder, and I get it. I like what James Gladstone's doing. This guy is growing on me. Every time he does something,
Absolutely.
I like it.
He's not holding back. He's not flinching. They've got the way they want this thing to go, and he's got to feel pretty good about what's on the board right now for the end of the third round and the beginning of the fourth.
All right, so 88 and 102 tonight. They were going to pick 70th. Now they're picking 88th. Are you still on the offensive line, defensive line train for both of these picks?
Absolutely. I just hope this guy's there, which I think there will be.
Yeah. And real quick, you've done it a million times. You've seen it done a million times, but I'm fascinated. So first round, obviously, is all the hoopla, but you're trading picks in round 3. How does that happen? Does Detroit call Jacksonville around pick 65? You're picking 70th and say, hey, we might want to negotiate with you in a couple of minutes if our guy is still there.
Absolutely.
What would you be interested in? You hang up the phone, you let them think about it for 10 minutes. How does that work?
Well, first of all, they have a bank of phones.
Okay.
And it's everyone, all you have to do is push a button, and it goes to their war room. And every team has.
So you got 31 buttons, 31 basically?
Buttons, yeah, whatever the bank of phones are.
Okay.
And so you can go, bang, talking to this guy, okay, I'll get right back to you. Bang, hey, listen, they offered me a sixth and a seventh. Can you do better than that for our pick? No? Okay, see you later. I'll talk to you later. Maybe at another pick. Well, here we go. You got it.
Wow.
Or you go to the next one and say, hey, look, I've been with a couple guys. What do you think? Will you give us something for the pick?
It's got to be reality TV at its finest.
It is.
It's got to be nuts.
It's great.
Just absolutely nuts.
Right.
All right, league-wide view. Shedeur Sanders is still available in round 3, and I believe Jalen Milroe is as well. But the Shedeur Sanders story, it's getting weird at this point, correct?
Yep.
I mean, we're 70 picks into this thing, and Shedeur Sanders is still there.
Yeah, I think he's now lumped in with Kyle McCord, with there's other quarterbacks.
Riley Leonard.
Yeah. I mean, that's where he's at.
I mean, is that just a misreading of the room by people that thought he was going to be a first-round pick? I mean, you had people as recently as yesterday still talking about him going 3rd overall.
Yeah.
We're now in the 3rd round.
Well, a lot of it is marketing. Dan Orlovsky brought up the things that he didn't like about Shedeur, and Dion got after him, and said, hey, I don't know exactly what he said, but
right.
he basically called him out on it. And Orlovsky came back with, listen, I like Shedeur. He said, but I have put a negative on every quarterback for the last 5 years that I've been doing the draft analysis. Their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did,
Well, all right, we got less than 2 minutes to go. Did not get to break down a Jaguar pick, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But I find myself with a smile on my face because they got 2 third-round picks next year for 3 third-round picks total. They still got their second rounder, so you're still going to have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds. Not having a first rounder is what it is, but again, just keep telling yourself, you got Travis Hunter. You got Travis Hunter. You got Travis Hunter. That's the answer. But you don't have a first-round pick. I don't care. We have Travis Hunter. And hopefully Travis Hunter here in the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, will have some company because, again, the Jaguars still scheduled to make 2 picks tonight, 88, and literally the final pick of the draft in the 3rd round. Quickly, Coach, when you have 3 picks that lumped together, you have 102, 104, and 107. I mean, that's wild to have 3 picks within a 5 or 6 pick stretch.
Correct. And what that also does is that someone else is going to look at that and say, if there's somebody there they want, we'll make a deal with those guys because they got 3 picks in a row. They don't have
trade
to
back. Give us a 4th next year.
Give us some more, whatever.
Yeah.
However you do it. And it really comes down to how their board looks and what they feel about it, really.
Really appreciate you coming in tonight.
You got it.
Thank you for Kevin Matthysse, your former player who's the CB coach at Colorado. The head coach, Dave Campo, has been the Iron Man of 1010XL. Between yesterday, today, the guy has been all over the place. Have a great weekend, pal.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is the head coach. RJ Saunders was your producer. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. Jacksonville will be picking just in about 45 minutes or so. We'll keep you updated on social media. Pick 88, pick 102. They got 104 and 107 tomorrow. They'll be right out of the gate tomorrow. And they've acquired 2 third-round picks for next year. So they have 3 third-round picks now in 2026. Have a terrific weekend, Jacksonville. We'll be back to break it all down Monday right here on Hacker After Dark.